In this exercise, we are going to create a program that takes 3 input strings and then combines them into one string and places them in a label on the form. So the first step is to start a new project. And then we have to rename it. We're creating a Windows Forms application. We are changing the name to Lecture2Exercise1. And I'm just going to keep the, oh no, I want to change the folder to Lecture2. And I click OK. Our instructions say that we have to place a combo box on the form. So I place a combo box and then I will rename it. I change the name property to CBO title, because that is where we're going to get the title of the person. We have to also change the items property. So when the combo box is used on the form later, the user will click on the arrow and the list will appear from where the user can choose. So now we're just going to enter all the possible titles here. Mrs., Mr., Ms., Doctor, Prof. I hope that's all of them. Okay, so we've changed the items property by adding some items, and we've changed the name property. We can also change the form's name to F or M input output, and we can change the title of the form through its text property to input processing output. We also have to place 2 text boxes on the form. I go down to text box, double click on it twice. I'm just going to align them all nicely. So the first one is for the initials. So I'm going to call this one TXT initials, and that is it. Text box, and the second one I call TXT surname. So we also want to put labels on so that when the program runs, the user will know what these boxes are for. So I'm going to add 3 labels. Okay. And I will rename, we don't really have to rename them because we're not going to use them in the program, but we have to change their text properties. So this will be title. Here we want the initials. This one is surname. Okay, again I just want to align them. Okay, so there I put a colon. I just want to take that out for consistency. The last control that we need on the form, now there are 2 more controls that we need on the form, the button and this will be the combine button that we will use to combine the 3 input fields into one string. So we call it BT. No, this is the text property. So we change the text property to combine, and we change the name property to BTN combine. The last control we need is a label for the output. So I put another label on here. Now, because we are actually going to refer to this label in our program, I want to rename it to LBL output, and we can just for now put the word output in the text property. So this is our form. I'm going to resize it so that everything fits nicely. So I click on Save All just to make sure the form is saved before I start writing the code. Right, so to create the event handler for the button, we want to create the click event handler. So we double click on the button to open the event handler. I'm going to create a string variable called combined name. Okay, and the value of this variable will be the 3 input values concatenated. So we say combined name is equal to, so the first part of the string will be the title. So we get that from combo title dot text, okay, plus. Now the instruction said there must be a full stop after the title, so we have to add a string with a full stop. So after the full stop we want a space before we have the initials. So we're going to put a space in between the 2 double quotes there. Next we're going to take the initials dot text, so that will give us the initials that the user entered. We then want a space and then the surname. So if I type text, now what is strange here is that if I type txt surname doesn't come up here. So this tells me that I might have made a mistake in the name, in the typing of the text box name. So I'm going back to the form, I select surname, and over here you can see I started the name with 2 T's instead of 1. So I'm just going to fix that and remove one of them. So now I'm going back to my code, and now if I type txt, text surname will come up, and that will be the last part of the combined string. So we take the title selected in the combo box, we add a full stop and a space, we add the initials in the text box, we put another space, and then the surname. Okay, so now we've created our combined string, but we still have to place it in the output label. So we say label output dot text is equal to combine name followed by a semicolon. So just to go through the parts of this event handler, over here we declared a variable. It is a string variable, combined name. Okay, so I call it combined name. I actually want to call it combined name like we have it in the slides. I'm just going to change it everywhere. Okay, so call it combined name. Then we use an assignment statement where we have on the right hand side a string that we create from the 3 input values, and we store it in combined name. And then we take that variable and we assign it to the text property of label output so that we can see the string on the form. So I'm going to run the program now. Okay, and if I click on the combo box, I choose Miss, and I'm going to choose NM, and the surname is Smith, and if I click on combine, it gives me the string Miss NM Smith.